Our final speaker of the afternoon, they're getting younger, either they're getting younger or I'm getting older. Councillor Jack Davies. Davies? Anyway, Jack is a local, some of this, I think the very last bit of this must be wrong, but Jack is a local Liberal Democrat councillor who lives in Pennington, just down the road here from Lymington. He described himself as a councillor, brother, son, doting boyfriend, lover of ale, and apparently Liverpool FC. Never mind, no. Got a supported born before St. Acton. So our final speaker for the afternoon, round of applause for Jack.
Yeah, well, don't hold that against me. So I'd just like to say thank you firstly to New Forest for Europe, and good afternoon everyone who has stuck with us for the duration of the afternoon. It's a pleasure to be here in Lyndhurst, especially on the weekend, which the Liberal Democrats will almost certainly commit to revoke Article 50 if we form the next government, which in these turbulent political times is actually not so far out of the picture. So it's also a pleasure to be here speaking, obviously, a few hours later than one of our MEPs for the region, Judith Bunting. And it feels like I've come full circle, to be honest, because the very first event I happened to go to when I joined the Liberal Democrats was an event with Judith Bunting, who just so happened to be then the parliamentary candidate for Newbury and West Berkshire. And the keynote speaker at that event was Mike Thornton, who was then MP for Eastleigh. And he said something that actually stuck with me, that our opposition, our opponents, are getting their propaganda pushed through their letterbox of people in the New Forest every single day. The Daily Mail, the Daily Express, the Telegraph, or the Torygraph as we call it. And we've got to be matching that with our own story. We've got to put out a positive vision. And that's what we're doing today. And I'm so glad and so thankful for New Forest for Europe for doing that today, because this is an amazing event in the heart of the New Forest. Lymington's better, but Lyndhurst is all right. In the heart of the New Forest, that was a controversial statement, in the heart of the New Forest, where we are putting out that positive vision. So, carry on, trying to scroll down, I kind of got a bit ahead of myself. So, it's very clear for me where I stand on Brexit. I have a positive vision for the future, and lots of us do here. And in my opinion, we can't do that if we leave the European Union. It relies on having, at the very least, a strong economy. And if we have a weak economy, which we will have, we'll be the poor man of Europe once again if we leave the European Union. We can't do all the things we want to do in the future. So, obviously, as a young person, I don't feel young. These last few years have dragged a little bit. But as a young person, that matters to me. Because it's not about what happens in the next 5 years. It's not about what happens in the next 10 years. It's about the next 50 years. It's about what the country looks like when I'm old and grey. I know, imagine that. I mean, I'm losing my hair already. But imagine that, in 50 years' time, what the country looks like. We want to be diverse, we want to be tolerant, we want to be a leader in Europe and the world. And we can't do that if we keep looking back to some nostalgic nationalist wet dream of empire and everything that went with it. The racism, the division, and the downright terrible conditions for the working class. So we can't do that if we keep looking back, so we need to look forward. And that's what I want to see us do, more and more often as we move forward. Now, this is my challenge to you. Demand better than Boris Johnson. Boris Johnson, who stoked fear and racism in this country through the Leave campaign and his actions after it. Demand better than Dominic Cummings, who is, quite frankly, the Gollum to Johnson's Sauron. That was a very lame sci-fi reference, and I'm realising I'm probably showing my slightly nerdy side there. And demand better than Brexit. Brexit, which will make this country poorer, which will isolate us from our allies in Europe and the rest of the world. And Brexit, which will hurt every single one of us here in the New Forest more than ever. Because Brexit means less money for our rural farms. It means less money for less support for employment rights in the New Forest, and most of all, it means a worse future for our children, our grandchildren, and those to come after us. So that's my challenge to you. Stand up, make your voice heard, because it won't be heard by the likes of the MPs in the New Forest, because quite frankly, they don't care what you think unless you're part of the Tory Association or in the Conservative Club drinking with them, or maybe, in Parliament telling them what to do and how to vote. So that's my challenge to you. Stand up, make your voice heard, and together, we won't just stop Brexit, we'll create a better country for the future and for future generations. Thank you.